And welcome to the SAC 2. I am Otto the Monster Medina, along with my tag team partner. He is the coach, Alfonso Gomez. I was about to call you Fonzarelli there, bro. I'm sure they've done that before. My man, Joe Panda, right in front of us. And, of course, my man, Bill Smith behind us as well, because Bill Smiths like to be here early, and he's getting ready because you can turn around and say hi, Bill, if you want. Stand up, my man. This is my man, Bill Smith. What up, baby?
Right back there.
We're going to talk some wrestling there. So Bill's getting ready for the game that he and Christian Latubus are gonna do here in a couple of minutes live from SAC 2. Fonzie, first of all, I can't believe it's finally here. You know, the fact that we are here getting ready for week 1 of Texas high school football. It is the end of August, and I'm just very happy, bro. That's what I'm saying right now.
You know, it's all time is waiting. Everything in the world is now better for us. Football is back. Been looking forward to it all summer. Well, after the season was done, we're back here, and all football begins now, today, tonight.
We do have some highlights, courtesy of Henry Reina. He was out there, Canotillo, and Americas. I believe that score was 28-20. And then down the way here at Excalibur Stadium, the Hanks Knights put a whooping there on the Mountwood Rams. Very surprised from that score, Fonzie.
I'm very surprised. I mean, that was a big first half for the Hanks Knights. They were hitting all cylinders. Like, they looked like they were mid-season ready.
And as you can see behind us, you can see some of the players. I believe both teams are here, or is it they're just a quarter out there warming up? No, both teams are here. I can see the two different colors. Of course, Burgess versus Socorro. That's 6:30 right here on EP Broadcast. .com, and of course on our YouTube page, which we're on right now, seeing it right now. And as I say that, why don't I just show you the picture that what we're gonna do here. Nice job there, Fonzie, with the background there. So Burgess versus Socorro, that is tonight right here on EPBroadcast.com at 6:30. So that's a little bit over an hour from now, and then the second game at 7:30, that'll be the Del Valle Conquistadores versus the East Lake Falcons, and that'll be at 7:30, and also that will be simulcast on KTSM Plus, our new broadcast partners. So at least one game a week will be on KTSM Plus, and we look forward to doing all that great stuff. Now, Fonzie, if you want me to get fancy, I can give them the fancy video of both of them doing it right there. You know? I turned down the sound because it was loud. But anyways, there you go. So that's another way to look at it. So I want to thank you so much for joining us here as we get ready for that. Before we begin, let's take a look at your preseason top 10 there, Fonzie. First of all, allow me to ask you, of course, it's going to change because of some of the things that happened yesterday already right off the bat. So this is your top 10. So what was your criteria for your top 10 as each week it'll be changing?
Each week it will be changing, and it's going to go with strength of schedule. You know, every preseason has and every criteria just to get their teams in order.
Yeah.
It's returning starters, what their strength of schedule was last year, their points for and against, and what their schedule looks like this year, and what key roles are gone and what key roles are in. That's how I put my criteria. This is what I came up with. And I think it's a pretty good list. And I know with things that happened yesterday, things will be changing in our top 10 here.
So as we look at the preseason top 10, of course, you got Eastwood. I think everybody has the Eastwood Troopers as the number 1 team in the city. Then you got number 2, the Andrews Eagles. 3, Pebble Hills. We'll talk about each team's here momentarily. El Dorado is at 4, Franklin at 5, Isleta at 6, Del Valle at 7, East Lake at 8, Riverside 9, and Hanks at 10. Of course, Hanks had the big victory. Everybody else that played, you do not have in the top 10 to begin with. But still, it's gonna change no matter what. So
you might expect Hanks to probably move up in this ladder.
Yeah, well, it depends because some of these teams possibly might lose. Well, 7 and 8, one of them is going to lose because that's the game we got today, Del Valle versus East Lake. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about some of these games. As we already mentioned, that we talked about the Canotillo. And first of all, Coach Scott Brooks gets his final season. Like I said, Americas came back. They were down big time, and want to thank Henry Reina for being there. Well, let me show those
Show the
highlights
highlights.
before I begin. So here are the highlights from last night's game. Canotillo and America's courtesy of Henry Reina. And those were the game highlights from last night's victory for the Canotillo Eagles as they beat the America's Trailblazers 28-20. And, of course, we have to, since we're talking about Americas, we have to bring up the situation that happened there and this morning. And a lot of stuff is to be investigated, but the people that were affected, it seems like they're going to be okay for now from what we've learned. They caught the person that did it, and like I said, a lot of details are out there that unconfirmed yet. So we just our condolences, everything that happened. Yes, prayers. Yes,
our prayers to the families that are affected here. It's very tragic.
Yeah, very tragic. Crazy. So let's move on and do some of these predictions. Lightning speed. Of course, we got the big game, Bowie versus Jeff, the first time. Both teams play Ironman football, but more the Bowie Bears. But, I think it's been a minute since Jefferson's been able to do something. I know that they've been struggling there. Coach Trina Martinez doing a great job. But I'm gonna go for the Bowie Bears in this one.
I'm going to take Bowie as well, just because they've done a great job over the years in this rivalry. But it's, records mean nothing here.
Yep.
And I think the Bears take it over the Silver Fox.
A lot of these rivalry games are happening in week one because a lot of these teams no longer are in the same district. And speaking of this one, the Bel Air Highlanders versus the Eastwood Troopers, the Battle of the Helmets. Of course, Coach Ariel Famaligi making his way back to his alma mater, the Bel Air Highlanders taking on the juggernaut of the Eastwood Troopers. Everybody's got them as the best team in the city, so it's going to be very tough. So Eastwood's going to win this one.
Yeah, that's an uphill battle for Bel Air, unfortunately. But Eastwood's got too much firepower.
We got the Andrews Seagulls are on the road taking on, actually, they're hosting Centennial here. I like Andrews in this game.
You know what? It's going to be
tough, though.
It's going to be a tough game, but I think Andrus, because where I have them in the rankings, is a pretty doggone good team.
Yep.
I think they're going to do a good job. I think they beat out Centennial this year.
Chaparral is at Mountain View there. I mean, both of these teams, they got to see what they do. You got quarterback Sol Contreras for Chaparral. You got Richard Madrid for Mountain View. Fonzie, give me your thoughts on this one here. They got a good defense, does Chaparral, I believe.
Chaparral's got a good defense, but I know the DC at Mountain View, he says, hey, this is the year that we're going to challenge for the district title. I believe him, and I think Mountain View is going to do a great job. I think the Lobos will get that win today.
The Chapin Huskies, a very good team, taking on the Franklin Cougars, a very good team as well. Shout out to Coach Ruben Torres, who joined us for the first ever coaches show that we had. And by the way, at halftime of the game that we're doing, Fonzie, from Del Valle and East Lake at SAC 1, 600 ESPN's El Paso's own Adrian Broadus will be joining us at halftime live,
Nice.
and because he's going to be at that game, so he will be giving us an update at that'll be at halftime at our game. So Adrian will be joining us from 600 ESPN El Paso. Also at halftime from that game, our good friend Jesse Tovar from Prep One will be joining us as well. So let's talk about this game, Fonzie. Who you got?
You know what? Chapin is up and coming. They've lost some guys, just like Franklin. For both of these teams, they're both going to have to. They're going to find their identity right away. But I'm going to pull towards more the Cougars and Franklin out there, especially because they're hosting.
The Clint Alliance taking on Andrews at Andrews. That's a tough ass to go out there and try to win that game.
I think Andrews takes this game. Clint it's just tough to play Andrews.
The El Dorado Aztecs open up the season without their superstar because he's now the running back for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, of course. Talking about Mr. Ray Estrada and taking on the Coronado Thunderbirds, who have a lot of high hopes through the Thunderbirds. They were coaching Mike Pry, trying to change things around there. But, of course, for El Dorado, they got something to prove. I still think they're going to try to run the ball. They got some good wide receivers. We've seen that for a couple of years. This one's going to be tough for me to pick, but they got Bryson Booth there with El Dorado. You know what? I'm going to take the Aztecs to get the victory here.
Yes, I mean, I spoke to Booth at media day out there. He's very confident. He's a very good kid, and seen him play as a starter, as a sophomore when he started. He's done a great job, and I think a lot of it's going to be on his shoulders this season. I picked the Aztecs as well to go over Coronado, just barely.
Fabian's Wildcats takes on Van Horn on the road, so it's going to be a tough task there. Come in, out the boost. My man Trey Smith, come in and see, folks, we're live. Just walk past the camera, dude. I'm being honest. Walk past the camera. What up, Trey Smith? He's right there. Bill Smith, get up. Say hi to your son. See, we're live. I said we're live. This is not recorded. We're live.
We're not pre-recorded.
Yes. So, and that's the beauty of it. So now they're gonna do the things. I still got to set stuff up over there. So, let's move on to Irvin at Santa Teresa. That's an interesting game there in my book. Yes. Irvin trying to turn it around there, taking out Santa Teresa, who they struggled last week. Did Santa Teresa? I think Irvin wins this game.
I'm going to say, you know what, Urban is – I'm always an El Paso guy when they go out of town. It doesn't matter.
I consider Santa Teresa El Paso is just like –
But you know what, at the end of the day –
Joe, do you consider Santa Teresa part of El Paso? No?
No, it's New Mexico. Man, there's an NM after that.
Y'all haters, y'all.
But I will take Urban. Urban is their culture has changed over there.
I think they're changing over there.
So it's going to be good stuff out there for them.
Going through the games – Parkland at Riverside. Your thoughts on that one? That should be a tremendous matchup there. Of course, Riverside's got a tremendous player. He's a commit with the Utah Miners, of course. And then you got Parkland there with the tremendous players of their own, with Aiden Nunez, the quarterback, and all the there's a lot of fireworks in this game, but I like Riverside.
You like Riverside? I think it's going to be a very tight ball game because you got to remember these two teams finally get to play against each other again here on a normal, but I'm going to take Parkland by 3.
Yeah.
I really do.
Pebble Hills travels to Midland. That's a tough task, but let's go Spartans. I know they left earlier today. And it's hard to drive 4 or 5 hours and then, try to play a game, but hopefully Pebble Hills comes back with a big victory. So,
but you know what? Pebble Hills has been used to that. Yep. They've done that in the years past. It's culture. You got to adapt and overcome on that.
The Sleda Indians also travel. Remember, the Sleda Indians went undefeated all last year. The only game they lost was that playoff game. So a tremendous accomplishment by Coach Mr. Martinez, Joe Martinez, quarterback Martinez as well. So it's going to be tough, though, against Big Spring there, Fonzie.
That's a big game for them. It's real testing to see who they are. But Isleta, I will pull for Isleta, but I think Big Springs may.
No, I'm still going to Isleta no matter what. Not because we're alum, because when the El Paso teams travel, we're going to go for them no matter what. So that brings us to the two games that are going to be here. Of course, the first game at 6:30. If I can show you the I'm just going to show you the video because it's a lot easier to show you the video. So at 6:30, it's going to be Burgess and Socorro. Of course, Christian and Bill will have the call there. That's a little over 45 minutes away. And then that should be an interesting matchup. Fonzie, I think Socorro, a lot of people have a lot of confidence in Socorro because Coach Cano has changed the culture there. Yes. You know, little by little they've been improving. And the main thing that I speak about Socorro was that last year they tried the dual quarterback situation. It just didn't work out, man.
It doesn't work out 95% of the time within the system that they run. So it depends what system offensively you run, where a two-quarterback system could work. But I think they've solidified who their quarterback is this year. They could build off the momentum they have last year. Like you said, the culture has changed over there in Socorro, which is a good thing, which they're going to play a real good, tough team in Burgess, who, you know, they're coming under the radar, and they may surprise some teams. This is going to be a good game for these two up-and-coming programs.
I like Burgess.
You like Burgess? I take Burgess by 7.
All right, cool. And then that'll bring us to the night game that we're going to be doing, Del Valle versus Eastlake. That should be a very interesting matchup, of course, because, first of all, we talked about how El Dorado no longer has a number 1 star. Del Valle was used to having the number 1 quarterback in the city for about 4 years. Mr. Jake Fetty was now the over there at Arizona State with the Sun Devils there. So, but nonetheless, this should be a tremendous matchup. Eastlake has a lot to prove. Del Valle has a lot to prove because they want to see, when we talked to them during the Prep 1 Media Day, we talked to the players, they had some fire there, Fonzie, because they want to show everybody. Yeah, exactly. So
they know the standard.
I'm not going to ask you who you're going to pick because you're going to have to wait until we do the broadcast in about little under 2 hours on right here. So, nonetheless, should be an interesting matchup there, Fonzie. What?
I think, you know, offensively, Del Valle loses some key players to graduation and gone on to the next level, as well as Eastlake defensively, they've lost. So right now they're going to try to find their identity on both sides of the ball for both of these teams. It's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a great game, though. I think it's going to be a lot of fireworks to expect tonight.
And that's going to happen later on today. Don't forget, Socorro hosts Burgess right here in about 50 minutes from now is when the broadcast is going to start. So that means we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank Joe for being here, bringing his light, making us look super good.
Look at us.
What up, Trey Smith? Say hi to the camera. Boost, say hi to the camera. Hello, Boost. Well, I can't see you. Hold up. I can't see you. What's
there
up?
He is. He's
you
right
good?
There.
We're live, baby. You good? You want to come? You want to say something real quick?
Come on,
come on, camera. Okay. See, you know, we're about to like hang up, you know. Shout out to my man James Nunn, of course, the AD for the Socorro Independent School District. So that's going to wrap it up. Boost and Trey doing a good job, and Joe doing a good job. Fonzie, good job. So we'll see you in about 2 hours at SAC 1. Socorro versus Burgess coming up in about 50 minutes right here on EP Broadcast. Thanks so much for joining us right here.